Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I've had people even as early as episode 6 or 9. I didn't mean to say 69. Those are just the two numbers that came to my head. But as early as episodes 6 and 9, we had owners of businesses coming in finding us. Like, there was the Radio Room, Wes from the Radio Room, shout out. Said, "Hey, we have some funny reviews. You should read these." And I said, "Hey, as long as I got your consent, I'm happy to do it." And the folks from Pita House. Have you ever been to Pita House when you were in Greenville?
Pita House that was on Main Street that I used to rally people to go
Pita
to.
Pit. You're thinking of Pita Pit.
Oh, damn.
Pita House is like legendary. It's on Pleasantburg across from Greenville Tech. You have to bring cash. Been in business for like over 30 years. And I think it was like episode 11. And then after it went out, a few weeks later, one of the sons found us on Facebook, found me on Facebook, and was like, "Hey, man, someone sent me your podcast. We listened to it as a family, and it's hilarious. Thank you so much for giving us a shout out." And I'm like, hold up. Are you telling me a bunch of Middle Eastern folks sat around like a fireside chat and listened to me shit on shitty reviewers on a good establishment? That's awesome. That's exactly what I was aiming for with this podcast.
That is the target demographic.
Yeah, you're damn right. Like, that made me happy. I was like, fuck yeah, that's awesome. So,
hell yeah. Well, let's see what people think about the Greenville Zoo today.
Yeah. Shout out, folks. I want to say welcome to One Star Reviews. This is your host, Andrew Van, and the voice you're hearing on the other side, new contributor, part-time co-host, friend of the show, and friend in real life, Taylor Dorsett. And do you want to talk about your podcast shout out here, or or is this on the low that you don't want to be unprofessional?
No, absolutely. I will plug it.
That's fine. Go ahead.
If you are interested in technical interviews or how to get better at technical interviews, I run a podcast called Professional Technical Interviewee with Taylor Dorsett, where I talk to technical engineering leaders and then about how they hire. And then in the second half, they do an interview with me. But
that bag is me opening some gummies. That's super unprofessional. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I'm like, I want to buy one of these. Come on, go on with the plug. Go on with the plug.
I was going to say, we're here to talk
about... I didn't think
that
was going to be that loud. I'm sorry. That was extremely rude. But these are local gummies.
Wait, are those weed gummies? I thought you had like a bag of like what do you call it? Habero gummies that you were opening, and then you pulled up a Ziploc bag for our viewers.
Is that not how you eat your Haberos? Like, I put mine in a bag and I carry it around like a child.
No, I buy mine from Target like a normal person.
Oh, wow. You go straight to Target. You don't even go to Dollar Tree. You have to step it up to Target. Wow.
Hey, I might offend some of your viewers, but I was in Walmart the other day. You know the worst part about shopping at Walmart is
being in Walmart?
The people. Absolutely the people.
Isn't it the best and the worst though?
No, because I'm a little scared. I'm a little scared whenever I'm in a Walmart. Like, my chance of getting in a knife fight is probably higher in a Walmart than anywhere else in my life on average at this point.
But again, isn't that the best and the worst at the same time?
I guess it is. It is an interesting experience. And I will say, having shopped at Walmart's most of my life as my primary place, what I like is like, oh, I'm at a point in my life where I don't have to shop at a Walmart anymore. So I feel like a little bit above it. But because there is so much there, sometimes I find myself going to Walmart and being like, I could do all my trips in one instead of having to go to 4 different places today, you know?
Oh, yeah, good point. It's true. It's like you risk getting stabbed, but the convenience, right? It's like the time you gain back gives you more time to get stabbed.
I can get dog food and a router.
And stabbed.
And stabbed.
And you can go to the next aisle with the dog food. That's where the bandages are. I'm just saying, they know their demographic. They know what happens in that store.
Absolutely. And that's why we're reading 1-star reviews of all the Walmarts in America today.
Oh, that would be a fun episode, actually. But that would be another day when I start running out of local places in Greenville, South Carolina. But go back to the shout out. Professional Technical Interviewee, whatever you listen to podcasts on, I assume it's like iTunes, iHeartRadio. You have a YouTube channel as well because you actually do video because you're a handsome fella. So check that out, folks. Also give us a like and subscribe wherever you listen to right now. Google Play, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spotify, all the things. If you've already listened to our voices, you already know how to get a podcast. Just hit that button for us as we do more episodes. We've done over 100 episodes. I'm really happy to have you on. And yeah, you've been a friend for a long time. And I'll say this as a shout out to you on this podcast, Professional Technical Interviewee. You did give me personal advice almost this time last year on how to transition my old late 30s self into the world of IT. And I took and ran that advice up the flagpole. And then 6 months later, I now also have a job in IT. And I am very fond of it. I love it. If for some reason any of my coworkers ever find this, I love my job. Don't sell me out because I cuss a little bit sometimes on this podcast. But all that being said, you know what you're doing, and I appreciate that. So shout out.
I appreciate you. So the two groups of people we want to avoid offending here are Walmart lovers and your coworkers.
Exactly. Which, I mean, they could be one and the same. They kind of overlap. There's a Venn diagram. I mean, I would say a lot of my coworkers. I work in a small town, and we probably have as many Walmarts as you should state representatives for the town we live in. It's like a certain amount of people we live. It's like you have to have a Walmart here. So
our population hit 8,000, and we demand a second Walmart.
You know what we don't demand a second of? We don't demand a second zoo. We have one zoo in Greenville. It is right on the edge of downtown Greenville, off Cleveland Park, and I like my zoo. You like the zoo because I asked you personally. I said, "What are some places you miss from living in Greenville yourself?" You've been gone now. I can't believe it's been like 7 years, and maybe 8 years, I guess. And that was the first thing you said. You said the zoo. You mentioned the restaurant Tsunami, which I love, which we did back in episode 64. And a future episode, we're going to do Biscuit Head. So you must like the zoo.
Yeah. You know, the zoo is a place where, like, I always felt like what was so cool about it is kind of like right downtown. Like you could just like stumble across the zoo in Greenville, which is pretty cool. And I love it, but I do think it's a little polarizing. Like I think some people love it, some people hate it. And it is a fine zoo, but if you're used to going to like if you're used to like the New York Zoo or something, you're gonna hate this zoo. Which is, I think, some of these 1-star reviews we'll see are people who are like, I can't believe this wasn't free and way bigger. And it's like, yeah, you're in Greenville, guy. That Greenville, like, chill.
You probably also only paid like $8. So
yeah, I will say. Last time when I went, it was more expensive than when I went in college. But again, that was like 8 years ago, and I probably got a college discount or something, right?
I mean, if you say college discount, you mean you just walked in for free, probably. So probably. I'll start out by kicking off with this one here. Let me get my music going. Saddest zoo I ever visit in my life. Small, and I mean it too. Hardly any animals. The lion and giraffe enclosures are way too small. On top of that, the animals seem sad. That's like every zoo, though. Like every zoo, I feel bad for the animals, right? Like that's not specific to the Greenville Zoo.
Yeah, this is this guy's first time at a zoo. Like he thought a zoo was what he saw in the movies, where like animals are actors. Instead, he got just like kind of morose animals who don't really move that much, and there's 8 of them in a semi decent sized enclosure.
Right? Yeah, I mean, like if you put like plexiglass around my room, not my house, around my bedroom, you'd be like, oh, he's so sad. The irony is it's small, but I have my PlayStation. So I'd be entertained, but I wouldn't go very far. But I wouldn't feel sad. So I don't know, like that's what people are saying, like, oh, it's so sad. Like that's kind of normal. I don't know.
You know what's funny is the giraffe and the lion enclosure at the Greenville Zoo. Both of those I feel like are ones that are not that, especially the giraffe. I feel like they have a lot of space up there.
They are also building a new portion of the giraffe exhibit where it's like a little bridge, so you can get higher to the actual giraffe head and feed them directly and pet them.
No way.
Yeah.
There was a baby giraffe last time I was there. That was pretty cool. Did you see that, Isaac?
They shipped it.
Oh, they shipped it?
They shipped it. I think they shipped her. I think it was Kiko was the name, and they shipped her to Buffalo, if I remember correctly. But then there was another one, and then there was another something born after that. And then most recently, if I remember looking at LinkedIn, I think they had a red panda.
Oh, the red panda was a big deal. Hey, we don't say the names, do we? Can we say the names if they're funny?
Oh, absolutely. If they're funny, absolutely. I think I know which one you're going for, but go ahead. Hang on, I'll get your music going. You got it going? Go.
uh, took longer to drive there than it did to see the entire zoo. Whack. 1 star by Rusty B. Hole.
Look, first off, it's Hole. And that could be his name. I went to school with a guy, and his name, unfortunately, people were trying to call him Rusty, and his last name was Seaman. So shout out Russ Seaman if you ever listen to this. You're a cool dude. I like you. And I believe his first name was Duncan. So shout out Duncan Russ Seaman.
Damn.
Good dude. I think you're on my LinkedIn, but I don't hate you. I like you. You're cool.
We're not giving 1 star reviews out of names, but Rusty B-hole is a pretty bad name. And
that could be, hey, it could be Russell, Benjamin Hole, for all we know.
Yeah. All I'm saying is you have the choice of how you want to present your name online. And he put the B out there. I guess Rusty B-hole is better than just Rusty Hole.
I mean,
all right,
this lady definitely chose her name. Here we go. In New York City, they have one day that is free for everyone to come and enjoy the animals. Why isn't that there a free day here? Goddess Femi is her name.
Damn. She's a local guide too. This is a new review.
But I do want to put that like you're comparing to New York and you're comparing to a 1 day event, right? She literally said they have 1 day that is free for everyone to come and enjoy the animal. Why isn't it free here?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was alluding to it to some extent early on. Like, if you're expecting the fucking Louvre, do we swear on this podcast?
I already swear a bunch of times already.
Okay, if you're expecting the fucking New York City fucking zoo, you're not gonna get that shit. It's the Greenville Zoo. Like, did you see the Empire State Building on your drive-in? No, so you're not in New York City. You're at the Greenville Zoo, and they got a giraffe. Be happy.
I like this one here. Yeah, it's like 2 parts. I've been to zoos where you spend all day there and still don't see everything there is because there's so much to see and do only for the charge of $16 to get in. This is not one of those zoos. It's incredibly small with very little animal stuffed in cramped exhibits. It's really sad. We walked around the entire zoo in less than an hour. Not worth the price.
Damn. People just shitting on these reviews.
How many zoos you been to over the years?
I probably like more than 5, less than 10. Like, I've probably been to like a lot of zoos in major cities.
Like, I've been to Atlanta. I've been to one in New York. I've been to the one in Chicago when I visited years ago, Lincoln Park, right? And that one's free, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I used to go to the zoo like once a week because I would just get off the bus early and walk through it.
But it was sad from what I remember. Like, I remember walking through it and I was like, there's not much to see.
It was a little sad for sure. But I like that zoo. Again, for a free zoo, it's larger than the Greenville Zoo and it's free.
Oh, sure.
And it's like on the lake. It's kind of nice. And I think there's zoos that are kids zoos, and then I think there are like kids and adult zoos, and that zoo's like kind of a kid zoo, like if you're an adult who's like jazzed about going to that zoo, I don't know.
If you're an adult going by yourself to the zoo, that should be question marks there, unless it's Brew in the Zoo, the 1 day of the year where they shut it out from the kids, and I think it's like $20 or $30, and you get booze, and it's like no kids, you just get to hang out with other adults boozing it at the zoo.
Hell yeah. Chicago used to have one called Zoo Lights. The same thing. You get beer and
pretty sure people also throw beer cans at the goats. I'm just saying. I would not put it past them there.
You know what? The couple times I went to Brew Lights, I never saw animals. I think they just put the animals away because it's nighttime and there's drunk people around and you're drunk. So you don't realize like where
that's exactly what I would do. Like, I mean, you get to the point where like after 2 or 3 beers, and you're like, they're not going to notice. Where's the pig? Where is it?
I got one. 1 star. It was a disappointing experience. The large animals we are asleep and non-active. The inside displays were boring. I guess the poor animals wanted to rest while Jesus rose on Easter Sunday. Swerve.
What
That one really took a curve at the end there, huh?
was that? Was that a slight to the animals, or I don't understand what.
I don't know, because it says a year ago. It wasn't Easter recently. So this review, was this man just thinking about Easter at that time?
He's like,
Like-
I came here to find a bunny. Y'all don't have a bunny exhibit? It's a zoo, isn't it? It's just does that have animals? By the way, Mother's Day, my first year with my wife, I took her and the kids to a place in Fountain Inn that's like a rabbit sanctuary. So you can't adopt rabbits, but they basically save and foster like a bunch of them on property on like this trailer park. And no shit, there was like 80 something bunnies, but you could pet them. You could just come hang out and you could just pet a shitload of bunnies, but you can't adopt. You can't take them home. You just can hang out for the afternoon.
Damn.
And it's like by a family that's like generationally run this trailer park.
Wow.
Just saying.
Was it cool?
It was
worth a visit?
I think I only paid like $25 for each person, and my wife loves bunnies. It's like a spirit animal. And I would say we look back on it fondly and we have great photos from that day. So yeah, I think we definitely enjoyed it. It's literally out in the middle of nowhere, Fountain Inn. Like you go down some windy roads, go down through like a dirt road, and it's like, oh, we should lock the car. But here we are. So that guy maybe needs to go visit that place. I'm just saying, agreeing with you.
I got one here. I mean, with some, yeah. Waste of a day. Very disappointing zoo. Took the day off to go with my child's class to the zoo. We drove separately so we could stay after the buses left. Was told that once the kids exited the zoo, there'd be no re-entry without pay. The whole school ate outside and is not being allowed back in. Basically, got there at 10 a.m., was denied back in at 12,000. What a waste of time and money. We'll never come here again.
He just seems like a miserable chaperone. You imagine that dad just like bitching the whole time. He's with like your friends and kids. Like, I've been to better zoos. That's stop.
Dad, stop it, please.
No, I mean, like, seriously, man. Like, I took a day off from working at my job as the general manager at Hardee's, and you know what it's like to just, I used a PTO day for this.
Dad, can I just ride back with my friends? I know you said you wanted to hit the bars after.
I swept your seat in my car. I don't care. You're coming with me. I got to get you back to your mom's by 4 anyway. So you're spending the day with me.
That's 4 hours. Are you going to drink for 4 hours again while I sit in the
You
car?
don't know what my life's like when you're not with me. You don't know. You know how many burgers are flipped in my shift. You don't know.
Mom told me you got fired.
Oh, Mom told you, huh? Ooh, I bet you want to go live with your mom and Steve, huh?
Well, now that you brought it up, Dad.
Oh, because they have a bed for you? Oh, I'm sorry, Your Highness. Ooh, I like a pillow. I don't like sleeping on Dad's old clothes.
Miss Sandra, I'm going to take the bus back.
That's probably not too far from that. Scene accurate. Just saying.
Here's one.
That's not a shout out. That's not a shit on anyone working at Hardee's. I respect Hardee's. Hardee's is probably my favorite fast food restaurant, honestly.
Honestly, a Hardee's biscuit is only second to a Bojangles biscuit in the morning. So,
which is only second to the future episode Biscuit Head. Shout out. Look for that one coming soon. All right, you got another one?
Hell yeah.
Go.
From my alma mater city, we are from Anderson, SC, and my son came up from Atlanta with our 2 grandchildren to visit. We decided to take them to the Greenville Zoo. We looked online and found that we would have to order tickets in advance, so we ordered and planned to go around 2 p.m. When we arriving, it was raining real hard and was not stopped by 3 p.m. We asked the zoo if we swap our tickets for the next day. They said no refunds and no rain checks.
I also as I'm looking over this next one, I don't know if you listen to the podcast enough as a friend, but like sometimes I get annoyed when reviews drop another name of a business in the review.
Oh,
that
yeah,
they're
yeah,
shitting
yeah,
on,
yeah.
and that like annoys the hell out of me. So this one,
I think I know the one you're saying.
very disappointed. Nothing to see. Either cage is empty or just a sleeping animal. Waste of time and money. We went next day to the Greenville Science Center. Wow. We bought family membership after visiting. Unbelievably designed. Um, I'm hoping this is a fake name, but I'm going to read the name regardless. Leslie Sacken. Leslie Sacken. Anyway,
Gimme.
so first off, I'm assuming she meant the Greenville Science Center is the Roper Mountain Science Center. So shout out Roper Mountain Science Center. We haven't done that review. That would be fun sometime. I learned sex ed at Roper Mountain Science Center.
I learned sex ed at the Greenville Zoo. 5 stars.
You probably could. If you come into the right time in the right exhibit, you really probably could. I'm sure there's been hundreds and thousands of weird conversations with dads and moms covering the children's eyes going, don't look at the monkey.
Uh-huh.
No. But yeah, no, that's not shitting on Roper Mountain Science Center. That's a good place. So, oh man, there's a lot of people that it's amazing to me how many people just need that bargain for their money's worth.
Well, they need to feel like they didn't get taken advantage of, which is funny to me because, like, you paid to go into the zoo, right? So how many animals do you have to see before you're like, great, that was worth my $12, right?
Yeah.
Is it 5 animals? No, that seems like too few. Is it 50? Do you want to have animals you didn't get to see because you were there for so long and you got tired first? Like, what is the level, right? And I guess, to be fair to some of these 1-star reviewers, zoos don't make it very clear. It's not like on a zoo website, it's like we have 100 animals. You don't see that stat, right? You just kind of get, it's a zoo. You get what you get.
I do like some zoos though that actually have the exhibit times for certain animals. Like if you were going to see, I don't know, the crocodiles and you're like obsessed about crocodiles, I think like a lot of times you'll see like certain times it'll be like either a show or when the animals are out. Cause it is kind of disappointing. Like you go, like, it's like going to a restaurant and you're like, I really want a cheeseburger. And it's like, we're out, guys. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it's like rush hour. Sorry. We got a chicken sandwich that was pretty good. It's like, oh, well, I want to see the giraffe. I guess I'll hang out with the hippo now and just see a Montana watermelon. Not the same.
You know what my favorite part of the Greenville Zoo is, honestly?
What's that?
They got these giant tortoises. The motherfuckers, I think they literally have one that they said, we don't know how old it is. We got it, and the person who was taking care of it knew that it was like 300 years old, but the person before that, like the person died, and then we lost track. So it's like somewhere between like 400 and 500 years old. And that to me is crazy. Like there's literally a tortoise there that no one knows how old it is.
I mean, how do you keep track of a tortoise's age, though?
I mean, I guess you write it in a book.
I mean, you got to write it down somewhere, keep track of where it came from, how long it's been in certain places, and who it came from. But like, other than that, it's not like you cut the leg off and you're like, oh, let's count the rings inside.
I think the shell works like that. You just count the number of rings on the top of the shell.
No, that's not a thing. Are we just going to leave that out there? Someone's going to actually write into yesvandrew.com at yesvandrew@gmail.com and be like, you guys are dumb. That's actually not accurate.
Actually, I don't know if you knew this, but the only way to tell the age of a tortoise is actually to cut off the head and count the rings inside.
I'm not even gonna lie. In my improv brain, I was literally saying the same thing in my head, and you went that way. You said it out loud. You went that far. I like it. I appreciate it.
All right, let me hit you with this one.
Go.
Go to take my granddaughter to the zoo, and they require you to buy tickets before you show up. They done a great job making a little girl cry.
What?
That's it. Fucking Lee just decided he wanted to shame them. He just said, I want you to know that my grandbaby cried because this man didn't look it up beforehand. Like, they didn't make your granddaughter cry. You did, Lee. Look on their website.
Hey Lee, we just we need to talk. So, is everything okay at home?
What do you mean?
Well, I know you've been here at our zoo for a number of years, and hey, first off, we just want to say thank you so much for all your years of service. With all that being said, we are trying to read and stay in touch with our community, and it seems like lately that there have been a couple of reviews, one in particular, that mentioned that you may have made a child cry during operational hours, and we just wanted to get your side of the story.
Well. To be fair, I didn't make her cry. We, as an organization, made her cry.
Oh yes, you're a team player. I forgot about that. Thank you. Yep.
Yes, it wasn't a me effort; it was a we effort. And to be honest, if the giraffes would have been cooperating with me, she wouldn't have cried. I wouldn't have had to beat them so hard.
Well, Lee, we do have a saying here at the zoo, and there is no I in cry. Um, and we don't have anything on camera. We don't have anything except for this review. So technically, you're not in trouble. What we will have to ask you to do is go sweep up in the tiger cage.
Oh, god damn it!
Oh yeah, we fed him pretty good today. So
Oh, god damn it!
we actually fed him that kid that gave the bad review.
Oh, that was my granddaughter.
Oh, about that.
Bow, 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 bow.
And scene. All right. Let's see here. There's a lot of people complain about the smell or the dirt. I'm like, what zoo doesn't have a smell? What zoo is not dirty? Like, what are the people's views of how hygienic a zoo is? You're going into an outdoor space with live animals roaming and shitting. And in some cases, like the monkeys literally will throw stuff at you. Like, what are you expecting here?
Yeah. Have you been to the Columbia Zoo?
Yes, Riverbanks, I like a lot.
Is it, in an objective sense, better than the Greenville Zoo?
It's a different experience. If I were going to go on pure money and what you get back in payment, like as far as the whole experience, I'll say this. So the Greenville Zoo is much smaller, and I believe it's much cheaper. I think it's only like $10, maybe $8 on certain days. In the Columbia Zoo, I want to say it's 15 to 20, if not a little bit more now, maybe with inflation. And I'll say that this is the biggest part I hate about the zoo. So that one, you have to like pull off the highway, and you have to get on a bridge, and the line is always back the fuck up. It is always back, and the parking, although big, is always seemingly full, and it takes like basically you have to like run a 5K before you even get to the gate. But once you actually do get in, it is really great. They do have a lot of exhibits. There's, I think, like a treetop course, ropes course, and stuff like that. There's like a wall climbing thing for the kids. A lot of variety in general. I think there's also like an otter show, and like a dolphin show and stuff like that. But so I don't know. It just depends on the experience you want. Like if you're, for me, I think like when I think of the Greenville Zoo, I guess we can kind of end it like usually at the end of the podcast we do like the positive stuff. So I guess we'll end it on the positive stuff here. But I like the Greenville Zoo because it's simple. Several reviews I'm sure you saw too were like, oh, I got done in less than 30 minutes. That's true. If you just run through it like, a marathon, right? If you're mall walking through the zoo, yes, you will get done in 20-ish minutes. I will give you that. But if you're there for like a casual experience and like you just want to clear your head, maybe just have some fun with the kids and let them like see, even touch a snake and shit like that in the exhibits. You want to do like a cheap field trip, cheap whatever for the thing. Like it is what it is. Is that fair to say? Like it is what it is. Not a bad thing.
It sounds like maybe it's like you go to Carowinds, it's fun, but it's not huge. You go to Six Flags, oh boy, but you're gonna wait in line.
and it's going to be dated as shit because they have not remodeled Six Flags in a long time.
Oh, is Six Flags not cooler than Carowinds?
It's been a long time since I've been, but last I remember, Six Flags had more rides and seemed bigger. But I remember a lot of the art and the promo stuff like was faded as hell. Whereas it feels like Carowinds rebrands like every other year. I don't know why. And so when I was a kid too, Carowinds was Paramount Carowinds because they had the partnership with Paramount Film. And so you had like the Star Trek Borg ride, you had the Top Gun ride. And then when they lost that partnership with Paramount, they had to like rebrand, rename all the shit. So like I think Top Gun is now called just like Maverick or something. Or not, maybe not Maverick. It's like Nighthawk or some shit. Yeah, it's weird.
Okay. So is it more like comparing Pita Pit to Pita Hut?
Those fighting words, man. if you ever mosey your way back to Greenville, South Carolina, we will go to the Pita House on Pleasantburg Drive. I actually went on a date night on a Saturday with my wife. I'll end on this. This is how good Pita House is. We pulled in to a Mediterranean restaurant 4 minutes away from our house, right down the street, 2 turns away from our house. We were sitting there. We even have a coupon. We were like, we're going to save money. We're going to have some fun. We're going to go bowling later, blah, blah, blah. Great. We have, all this shit, right? So the shit you do in your late 30s, you get like a coupon. You're like, ooh, you should eat there. Even like the menu plan. We were like, oh, looking at it like all day. We're like, this is what I'm going to get. This is what I'm going to get. I'm so excited. We were sitting there in the parking lot, 15 feet away from the fucking door. And then I go to myself, it's really good, Pita House. And my wife looked at me and she goes, it's up to you. We need to get cash though. And I was like, yeah, we do need cash because this place only accepts checks and cash. And for us, it's like 20 minutes away. So we sat maybe less than 3 minutes in this parking lot joking around like, we should do a Pita House because it's next to a bowling alley. We want to go bowling. We're going to go to Pita House. And then we just drove all the way across town. And I'll tell you what, I'll text you a picture of the food. It's amazing. It is. When I was in high school, I would skip class. I don't really care about saying that now because I already graduated, but I would skip class, take advantage of the journalism class I was in and like use that selling ads time leaving campus. And I go to Pete House and Friends. And it's good. It's exactly the way I remember it every time I go. The best falafels in town, best fresh homemade hummus in town, best fresh pitas in house. And the dolmade, the grape leaves, the best in town. And the lamb, you just can't touch it. Can't touch it. So jokingly, shout out Pita House. Yeah, you can't compare. It's good stuff.
That looks good. So if you want to know the name of the other Mediterranean restaurant, just look at Andrew Van's 1-star reviews on Google Maps.
I think I actually did leave a good review because I've eaten there before, but that place. So I will. Damn it! What did I just call it? Parsley and mint. Forgive me, parsley and mint. I will be eating at you soon, but you do not hold a candle to Pita House. And anyone in Greenville listen to this podcast knows that. Speaking of which, again, listen to this podcast wherever you listen to. Hit that like, subscribe button on our podcast. Give us a 5-star review on 1-star reviews, and also follow Taylor wherever his podcast you can find it. The Professional Technical Interviewee on YouTube. Give him a like, subscribe. You have like how many episodes do you have? You're like over 50 episodes. How many episodes you got now?
Yeah. Well, like 30 episodes, but they're all 2-parters. So that's like 60 something. Let me read one more. Let me read one more review. You got any snotty music?
Oh, absolutely. Hang on. Yeah, I got sad music. Here we go.
Let me pull out my snotty character. Here we go. They have the nerve to charge people for a small zoo. Very disappointed. Very disappointed. Back home in St. Louis, I'll tell you, I was free. 100 times bigger than this. This should be free. All day, every day, care about.
That reminds me, tomorrow's primary runoffs, and you sound exactly like a politician. let me tell you, if I'm elected, I'm gonna make it free for everyone. Free
We're taking the
passes.
zoo all the way to St. Louis.
And we're going to make Kansas City pay for it. All right, there we go. So check out One Star Reviews, Professional Technical Interviewee.